Did you know this? According to a study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, over 30% of heart-related ER visits in seniors were triggered by one surprising factor: improper exercise. Yes, the very thing we think is keeping us healthy might actually be pushing our aging hearts to the brink. After age 60, your body, especially your heart, reacts very differently to physical stress. Some workouts that seem healthy on the surface are actually silent threats, increasing your risk of arrhythmia, high blood pressure spikes, or even cardiac fatigue. In today's video, we're exposing 5 common exercises that could be harming your heart right now. And I'll show you what to do instead to stay strong, active, and safe. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Elderly Health Tips so you never miss another life-saving tip. Let's get started. Now, let's take a look at 5 exercises that can harm seniors' health. The first dangerous exercise, HIIT, high-intensity interval training. Studies show seniors who do high-intensity interval training are nearly twice as likely to suffer heart rhythm disturbances. That's not fitness. That's a red flag. Let me tell you about Nancy, one of my longtime patients in California. She's 72, full of energy, and wanted to age strong. Inspired by a local fitness group, she began a HIIT class for seniors, jumping jacks, squat thrusts, and sprints in short bursts. 3 weeks in, she ended up in the ER with atrial fibrillation, a fast, irregular heartbeat that doctors believe was triggered by the repeated spikes in heart rate. And sadly, she's not alone. In 2021, a large-scale review published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that HIIT increased the risk of exercise-induced arrhythmias by up to 94% in older adults with pre-existing cardiovascular conditions. That same study warned that for those over 60, sudden changes in exertion levels significantly increase autonomic imbalance, meaning the body's ability to regulate heart rhythm and blood pressure can be dangerously thrown off. Even in healthy seniors, HIIT can be risky. A 2019 study from Mayo Clinic Proceedings showed that participants over 65 who engaged in high-intensity interval workouts more than twice a week had a 28% higher incidence of post-exercise hypertension. That's the kind of blood pressure spike that doesn't always show symptoms until it's too late. And here's something even more surprising. According to data from the National Institute on Aging, the heart's maximum output declines about 20% between ages 60 and 80. Combine that with age-related changes in arteries, and your body simply isn't built to handle the same stress it used to, especially not short, explosive bursts. But that doesn't mean you stop moving. It means you move smarter. Swap HIIT for moderate-intensity activities like brisk walking, water aerobics, or Tai Chi, which Harvard Medical School refers to as meditation in motion. These exercises gradually elevate your heart rate, improve circulation, and most importantly, allow smooth transitions between effort and recovery, which is crucial for aging hearts. A good tip I give to all my patients: use a heart rate monitor and aim for 50 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. That's roughly 220 minus your age, times 0.5 to 0.7. So if you're 70, your target zone is 75 to 105 beats per minute. Anything beyond that, especially during short bursts, is pushing the danger zone. And if you're wondering whether you're pushing too hard, you probably are. The second dangerous exercise, crunches and heavy weightlifting. In one study, seniors lifting heavy weights during abdominal exercises experienced blood pressure spikes as high as 320 over 250. That's stroke-level pressure, just from doing crunches. Why does this happen? It all comes down to intra-abdominal and thoracic pressure. When you hold your breath during a crunch or lift heavy without proper breathing, the pressure in your chest and belly builds fast, a reflex called the Valsalva maneuver. In young athletes, that's manageable. But in seniors, that sudden pressure spike can damage blood vessels, strain the heart, and even trigger a hypertensive crisis. A 2020 study published in the American Journal of Hypertension confirmed that older adults performing abdominal resistance exercises, like crunches, had an average systolic blood pressure surge of 70 millimeters of mercury, with some exceeding 300 millimeters of mercury during reps. Another global review published in The Lancet Healthy Longevity, 2021, looked at over 10,000 adults age 65 plus. They found that those who engaged in heavy resistance training, especially without supervision, had a 52% higher incidence of cardiovascular events over 5 years, particularly among those with existing hypertension or diabetes. And here's something you might not realize. According to the CDC, nearly 2 out of 3 adults over 60 already have high blood pressure, and often don't know it. Add the wrong workout to that, and you've just built the perfect storm. So what's the safer route? For core work, I suggest resistance band movements like standing wood choppers, seated resistance twists, or even pelvic tilts on a mat. These keep tension on your muscles, not your arteries. And for strength, bodyweight exercises like wall push-ups, slow squats to a chair, or resistance band curls are far more joint and heart-friendly. Also, don't train alone if you're over 65 and using weights. Having a certified trainer with experience in geriatric exercise physiology can save your heart, literally. They'll help you breathe properly, avoid overloading, and build strength without risk. One final tip I give my older patients: avoid ego lifting. That means lifting for pride, not for health. You don't need to prove anything in the gym. What you need is to move well, breathe well, and recover well. That's what aging strong really looks like. So how do you know if you're pushing too far? Here are some warning signs. Feeling flushed, dizzy, or faint after sets. Headache during or after lifting pressure in the chest or abdomen mid-rep. Skipping heartbeats, especially when lying down later. The third dangerous exercise: fast-paced workouts with jerky movements. One quick jump, and her life changed. According to the CDC, over 36 million older Americans fall each year, and a large percentage of those falls happen during fitness routines. Let me tell you about Marianne, 74, from Phoenix. She loved staying active and joined a community Zumba class to keep her energy up. The problem? Her brain and body couldn't keep up with the lightning-fast turns and bouncing footwork. One class, during a fast-paced side shuffle, she lost her footing and landed hard on her wrist. A clean break. She didn't faint, didn't feel dizzy beforehand. Just one moment of misstep, and months of recovery. This is exactly why jerky, high-speed exercises like burpees, box jumps, or even fast Zumba can be dangerous for older adults. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that seniors over 65 were 2.7 times more likely to fall during rapid, direction-changing exercises compared to steady-state workouts like walking or yoga. That's nearly triple the risk. Why? Because the nervous system, which controls reflexes, balance, and coordination, naturally slows with age. Nerve conduction speed declines by roughly 15% between ages 60 and 80, according to research from the American Academy of Neurology. That means when your foot slips or your body tilts, the corrective signal takes longer to reach your muscles. By the time it does, it might already be too late. And the problem isn't just falling. These quick, forceful movements can also affect the heart's electrical rhythm. A 2022 paper in Frontiers in Cardiovascular Medicine showed that adults over 60 doing explosive or sudden movements had a 47% increased risk of developing exercise-induced arrhythmias, especially in individuals with a history of atrial fibrillation or borderline hypertension. There's also the vascular system to think about. A 2019 report from Harvard Health Publishing explains that aging arteries lose elasticity, meaning they can't widen and narrow fast enough to adjust to sudden activity spikes. The result? Temporary blood pressure swings that may cause dizziness, lightheadedness, or a sudden drop in cerebral blood flow, which increases fall risk even more. So what should seniors do instead? My advice is simple. Train with rhythm, not with speed. Focus on fluid, predictable movement. Things like Tai Chi, water-based aerobics, slow-paced yoga, or modified Pilates. These improve flexibility, balance, and cardiovascular health without throwing your nervous system into panic mode. Here's a rule of thumb I give my patients. If the move surprises your body, skip it. If your workout feels like a race, fast, bouncy, unpredictable, it's not made for aging joints, slower reflexes, or a heart that now needs more time to adjust. A few practical tips. Use a mirror while exercising to monitor your form and movement patterns. Start every session with 5 to 10 minutes of slow warm-up, especially if you're doing any rotation or step-based routines. Balance test before every class. Can you stand on one foot for 10 seconds without wobbling? If not, avoid anything involving jumping or rapid changes. The fourth dangerous exercise, working out too close to bedtime. He thought a 9 p.m. treadmill session would help him sleep better. Instead, it landed him in the ER with heart palpitations. That was Ron, 68, from Atlanta. He'd just retired and wanted to take charge of his health. But because of his new schedule, he started doing his workouts at night, sometimes as late as 8:30 or 9 p.m. It seemed harmless at first, until he noticed he was lying in bed wide awake at 1 a.m., heart pounding, eyes burning, and unable to relax. One night, his heart started skipping beats. Scared, he went to urgent care. They found no heart attack, but his sympathetic nervous system was in overdrive. This isn't rare, and it isn't just about sleep. Studies have shown that late-night exercise activates the sympathetic nervous system, which is your body's fight-or-flight response. That means your heart rate goes up, cortisol spikes, and your brain stays alert, just when it's supposed to be winding down. A 2020 meta-analysis in the Journal of Sleep Research found that people who exercised vigorously within 1 to 2 hours of bedtime took 22 minutes longer to fall asleep on average and reported lower sleep quality overall. And for seniors, the impact is even more dramatic. After 60, the body's ability to switch off stress hormones declines. According to the National Sleep Foundation, over 48% of older adults already suffer from insomnia or disrupted sleep, and late workouts only worsen that. What's worse, a study in Circulation. Heart Failure, 2019, found that poor sleep in older adults is directly linked to higher rates of irregular heartbeat and even heart failure progression. But there's more. When your body is too stimulated at night, your blood pressure stays elevated longer, and that can increase nighttime cardiovascular strain. One study published in Hypertension, American Heart Association, showed that seniors who exercised late in the evening had a 31% higher chance of experiencing nocturnal blood pressure spikes compared to morning exercisers. So, what's the fix? The answer isn't to stop exercising, it's to time it smarter. For older adults, I always recommend working out in the morning or early afternoon. That's when cortisol levels are naturally higher, muscles are more responsive, and the workout gives you energy, not anxiety. If you must move your body later in the day, try gentle movement instead of intensity. Options like slow yoga, stretching, walking outdoors, or guided breathing can help calm the nervous system, lower heart rate, and even promote deeper sleep. I also recommend a wind-down ritual in the evening. Turn off screens at least 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Take a warm shower or bath. Practice 4 to 7 to 8, breathing, or a simple body scan meditation. And skip anything that ramps up adrenaline, including late workouts. The fifth dangerous exercise: exercising outdoors in extreme weather conditions. She thought a morning walk on a chilly day would be harmless, until her blood pressure hit 190/110. That was Joanne, 72, from Chicago. It was early winter, around 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and she bundled up just enough to head outside for her daily walk. 15 minutes in, she started feeling lightheaded and tightness in her chest. She didn't slip, didn't trip. She just didn't know how her body was reacting to the cold. We later found her blood vessels had constricted sharply, sending her blood pressure into a dangerous zone. That single walk triggered a hypertensive episode. It's something I see more often than you'd think. As we age, the body's ability to regulate internal temperature drops. The sweat glands work less efficiently, the skin loses elasticity, and blood vessels don't expand or contract as fast. According to a study from the National Institutes of Health, adults over 65 are significantly more vulnerable to both heat stroke and hypothermia, even during mild weather changes. In cold weather, the blood vessels near the skin constrict to conserve heat. That's good in theory, but for seniors, it also raises systemic blood pressure. A 2017 study in the American Journal of Hypertension found that older adults exposed to temperatures below 50 degrees Fahrenheit experienced an average 15 millimeters of mercury rise in systolic blood pressure within 30 minutes. For someone already living with high BP, that could push them into a danger zone. Now flip to the other extreme: heat. In hot weather, your body tries to cool itself by dilating blood vessels. This drops blood pressure temporarily, but the heart has to work overtime to push blood through the now expanded vessels. And if you're even slightly dehydrated, which many seniors are, this stress compounds fast. The CDC warns that older adults are more likely to become dehydrated because they don't feel thirst as strongly, and their kidneys don't conserve water as efficiently. In fact, a 2022 JAMA Internal Medicine report showed that emergency room visits for heat-related illness are rising fastest in people over 65, up nearly 35% over the past decade. Many of these are simply people trying to stay active outdoors without realizing how hard their cardiovascular system is working to stay balanced. So what's the safe move? Simple. Control your environment. Exercise in the early morning, before temps climb too high, or indoors, where the temperature is consistent and safe. Use fans, air conditioning, or heated rooms when necessary. And above all, stay hydrated. I tell all my older patients, if you're feeling thirsty, you're already behind. Sip water steadily throughout the day, even if you don't feel like it. Here's a good trick. Before going outside, check both the temperature and humidity. If it's above 85 degrees Fahrenheit with high humidity or below 45 degrees Fahrenheit with wind, skip the outdoor walk. Move your workout inside or just stretch and stay mobile indoors. Some warning signs your body's not adjusting well: flushed face, excessive sweating, or chills, dizziness, or feeling faint, even if the workout feels light, headache during or after exercise, a racing heart, or a sudden drop in energy. So, if you're over 60, don't let the weather, your schedule, or your workout style catch your heart off guard. Your body isn't weaker, it's just wiser. It needs a little more patience, a little more planning, and a whole lot more kindness. Adjust your workouts to match your age, not your pride. And if something doesn't feel right, please don't push through it. Take action now, not after something goes wrong. And hey, if this helped you rethink how you move, rest, or protect your heart, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Elderly Health Tips so you never miss another life-saving lesson.